Fast Eddie here. Give you a little update on my ramp truck with Cummins install, swap, whatever. So we welded up the firewall here over the holes for the heater and the ducting. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be running a vintage air. You can see here where we've cut the firewall for the motor room and basically transmission room. I'm not sure if we had a different transmission, maybe an MV4500 or something smaller than this massive ZF6, it might have fit without doing so much cutting, but it all worked out well. Everything's going along really good. Just got that welded up, touched up with some paint, replaced a fender well. Fender corner here was rotted out, basically just at the bottom, but it was pretty rusty, and that's where the battery was, so that's the reason for that. Painted up the underside, cleaned up the other fender well. Let me show you the adapter we made for the turbo to relocate it on the engine. If it's on here, it's not on here. Must be in his shop. I'm not sure I can show that to you. Some other parts here that are going in for the swap. This is a ZF6 to Cummins swap clutch setup. Show you inside the truck. So there's a big hole cut in the floor. This is the panel that will cover the transmission. This here is another section that we made because we're going to need access, or in the future I would need access to the bell housing bolts, starter, whatever have you. So that unbolts too. It makes it a lot easier for in and out of the transmission and the motor. The turbo there with the exhaust brake on it. This exhaust brake was the reason we had to build that, I don't know, turbo flange adapter, I guess you could call it. We changed the drain back tube. This is the shifter I'm going to be using. Yeah, that's a truck transmission shifter knob. So yeah, I know it's going to confuse a lot of people when they look inside the truck, but this is a 2-speed shift, and I'm going to be using hopefully this mechanism for running my exhaust brake. I'll just have to figure all that out. It's got a lot of fittings and stuff on the bottom that'll have to be plugged off. Figure out how that works. I think that's doable though. So after we get the motor and transmission will go in one more time, what we think. It's gone in and out probably 2 or 3 times, but just for the fit and refit and make sure everything's clearing. Like I said, there was some starter work. I might have said it earlier in a video where the starter had to be fitted just right. The block has to be notched. I think the inside of it was either the adapter or the bell housing had to be clearanced for where the starter was interfering when it went in. I'm going to keep this factory tank. I'm going to have 2 saddlebags. So hopefully that'll be quite a bit of fuel that I will be needing and not having to pull off and fuel up intermittently. What else? So when I get the transmission and motor back in, we're going to fit the seat in. I'm hoping that the seat is going to fit because that hump comes clear back to here, where before it was about here. So we'll see. I mean, it might be close. Whatever, I'll make it work. Then I will mount I remember everything here. The shifter here is down on like that angle. So when I get it in there, then we're going to manipulate that. So either I'm going to have a bend on the shifter shaft here, or it's going to bend down there on coming out of the transmission, because I want my shifter more up like this. For one thing, it's over there, clear over there to the steering wheel, so we're going to have to get it more away from me and forward. But that's all going to be, that'll all work out. So I'm very pleased with the progress we've been making. This green paint, I kind of have a funny story. I should talk about it another time, but I went to a paint store years ago when that door right there is a different door. It was white, and I said I had a piece of metal that was the color of this truck, and I brought it into him, and I said, "Can you get this color pretty close?" Matched me up some paint. So they matched up some paint, or they looked up the code, and they want to go by, you know, these codes and not trying to figure it out. They come out and it's like way too dark, too much gray in it, and I said, this is like way off. Can you at least lighten it up for me? And they did one time, and then it still was way off. I actually came home and sprayed the door, and it was just so far off that I brought it back and said, "Can you make it lighter for me?" And they said, "No, we're going to be spending too much time on that, and that's not going to work out for us." So I'm like, I was pretty teed on it, to say the least, and bought a small can of One Shot, which is a regular sign painter's paint, just an enamel. This is just an enamel single stage paint. Brought it home. It was a very light gray or white, I can't remember, but I had got it to, I'll show you the door from the outside. I can't get a very good view of it here, but I got it pretty darn close. You can't really see it in this light, but it does match up really good. You'd have to really look at it, and you probably wouldn't notice unless somebody told you. But it mostly it was the shine. This old paint don't want to shine no more. I'm not sure if I could get it to shine the same as new paint, because you know it loses pigment. But I keep what I want to say is this paint right here that the guys are using is out of a spray can, and it matches perfect. So that was kind of like, what the hell. But yeah, I'm very pleased with the progress, and this next coming week here, we'll be putting the motor back in, putting the front end back on, and starting to fit everything back together for good. I will say that, you know, I'm not building a show truck here. You can tell that, of course. I mean, I could do some body work on that firewall there. This is a truck that's going to do work. I mean, it's a cool truck, but it's not gonna. I'm not trying to win shows with it. It's just, you know, it's going to do a purpose. You know, who knows? You know, I might enter it in some kind of a show, but it ain't going to be a show for shine and glitter, that's for sure. The exhaust, I want to run this truck and have it quiet. I don't want a loud diesel truck. That just is a turn off to me, trying to drive something that's so loud like that. And I want to be driving in, you know, distances. So I ordered a muffler. The muffler's pretty darn big. It's over 4 feet long. It's supposed to be a pretty good muffler. We'll show it to you when I get it. But yeah, everything's coming along good. Anyways, you guys have a good weekend, and we'll keep you up to date on the next update here.